The story behind me playing Katie in Mean Girls is actually really unknown by a lot of people.
Lohan spent 3 weeks in rehab last month.
Aren't you supposed to be in rehab now?
Do you not watch anything that goes on? We didn't discuss this in the pre-interview.
No.
Are you an addict?
Yeah.
You have to acknowledge what's wrong before you can fix it.
I was so clueless. I was only 17, so high school was like right there.
That's gotta be a creepy feeling to see that happen.
Yeah, it was a little creepy.
Lindsay Lohan and Amanda Seyfried blamed the movie for the pain it inflicted on them. There was a lot of tension behind the scenes, and for such a breakout movie, there's no way there wouldn't be drama. So let's get into it. You want to talk about a movie that defined a generation? Mean Girls. Now, it wasn't just a teen comedy, it was a cultural phenomenon that shaped fashion, slang, and even the way we think about high school drama. Now, I know we all had that reboot, and to be honest, I haven't seen it, but we're talking about the original today and the implications of this movie. For Lindsay Lohan, Mean Girls was both a career high and the beginning of a very public downfall. She became the it girl in Hollywood and everyone loved her until they didn't. She was set up for relentless scrutiny, tabloid scandals, and industry pressure that nearly destroyed her. Thank God Lindsay is doing okay nowadays, but I'm sure she has kind of like a bad example like Chapel Roan, like not wanting to take pictures of people. I don't think that's a big deal, but I can understand people have different expectations of you, and Amanda really felt that. And let's be real, watching Mean Girls with fresh eyes in 2025, some parts are just crazy. From the way teenage girls were hypersexualized to the insane social hierarchies. This movie was way wilder than what we gave credit for back in 2004. Now, I don't know if this video is going live on a Wednesday, but let's just go ahead and break into our pink little Mean Girl attire. Never mind, I'm wearing my blind item breakdown cap, which I don't know if this will be on sale anymore at this point, but thank you guys for supporting it. Let's get into this video. Now, Lindsay herself has admitted the Mean Girl's success contributed to her public downfall. Lindsay has been chased by her past troubles for a large chunk of her career, and in 2013, she affirmed the massive success she achieved after Mean Girls was released contributed to those problems. In 2004, the film generated more than $130 million at the box office, and in the years followed, Lindsay has spent more time in both rehab and in the paparazzi's camera lens than she does on film sets. Honestly, big shout out to Lindsay Lohan nowadays being a mother. She looks happy and healthy, and holy hell, who is her doctor, because she looks like she just went up to heaven, visited an angel, got blessed, and came right back down, and she looks like great. Like she's gone through none of these struggles. But I do want to play some throwback clips of, you know, what was going on back then, just to take you back to where we were.
Actress Lindsay Lohan has reportedly failed a court-ordered drug test. The entertainment website TMZ.com says the test was conducted last week. A spokesman for the LA County DA's office says prosecutors have not been notified. Under the terms of Lohan's probation, she could be sent back to jail for 30 days for failing a drug test. Lohan spent 3 weeks in rehab last month after serving 13 days in jail for violating her probation in a pair of DUI cases.
And this was really hard on Lindsay. I can't imagine what she was going through with the mental health struggles, the addiction problems, and then really being defined by this new character that she's like, you know, the it girl that's just completely fallen into this ring of hell in Hollywood.
Aren't you supposed to be in rehab now?
Do you not watch anything that goes on?
I do.
Tabloid now?
Now here's what
May 2nd.
I was under the May 2nd.
Yes.
And how long will we be in rehab?
3 months.
How many times have you been in rehab?
Several.
And how will this time be different? What are they rehabbing, first of all? What is on their list?
We didn't discuss this in the pre-interview.
No,
but
you know what's worse than getting injured? Fighting with the insurance company afterwards. They will often stall, delay, and lowball you because their goal is to pay you as little as possible because they are not on your side. That's where Morgan & Morgan comes in. They are the largest injury law firm in America with over 1,000 attorneys and millions of clients served. They've secured billions of dollars for settlements and verdicts, including a $26 million payout in Philadelphia, 40 times more than what the insurance company originally offered. And the best part about Morgan & Morgan is that they don't charge anything up front. There is no consulting fee, there's no hourly rate, there's no hidden cost by going and getting them to help you out. So if you've been hurt in an accident, Morgan & Morgan has your back if you become their client. You can go to forthepeople.com/Sloan or scan the QR code on the screen to start your claim now. You probably could get it submitted before this video is even over with, and it's not going to hurt to go and figure out how much you are owed. Thank you, Morgan & Morgan, for sponsoring this video, and enjoy. It's so disrespectful how she can go on to these TV shows and be asked these questions, and she was asked this in the pre-interview. A lot of other celebrities, they wouldn't get that disrespect. You think like Oprah's gonna go in there and not, go through the pre-interview questions and then go through with that on television? It's just really madly disrespectful when you see like a host set up Lindsay, and honestly, Hollywood set her up. In 2013, she sat down with Oprah to discuss her new views on life post-rehabilitation. She credited the film with being the impetus for her public downfall. So really, Mean Girls, she says, is the reason. I mean, from the lack of proper guidance to the reckless discretionary spending, then her $7 million per picture price tag was fading fast. Quote, "I was living at a hotel and I had an apartment," she revealed. "I wasn't really being guided. There was no one there."
Are you an addict?
Yeah.
And what is it you are addicted to? What is your drug of choice or drugs of choice?
Alcohol.
Alcohol.
Yeah.
I remember like she did specials with Oprah and it was really hard to get her to show up, like probably because she was struggling.
Because that in the past was a gateway to other things for me.
Other things like?
I'd never abused, I tried cocaine with alcohol. And I'd never
That's
done
when you
those
were
things
arrested the
without
first time,
drinking.
correct?
Yeah, possession.
Yeah,
I had
with
it.
possession, yes. And then I read that you said that you really hadn't done cocaine but 3 or 4 times.
I really haven't done it. I really haven't done it.
I mean, really, do you think she would remember how many times, if you're drinking a lot and then doing coke, I mean, how many times are you gonna remember how many, like, isn't that part of the problem? Like, you forget when you drink, how are you gonna remember?
More than 10 to 15 times. Of course I said 3 or 4. I was terrified of being judged.
So what is the truth?
I've done it like 10 to 15 times. And
Do you
it's
enjoy
always,
doing it?
everything's come,
Do you enjoy
No.
doing it?
no.
I mean, so many people, it's so crazy out here in LA, like the amount of people I know who do that stuff. Like, there's definitely a lot of people who don't. I mean, we've got like the vegans out here, the organic people out here, but there are people and you can tell because they'll be out in the public and just, I mean, they'll be doing a lot of things in public. You'll see some of the, I think houseless, we don't say homeless, right? Houseless people. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
I never
So why
felt
do you
good
do
the
it?
next day.
Why do you
Because it allowed me to drink more. I think that's why I did it.
So Lindsay really felt the struggles of popping up to fame in this movie and the aftermath of it. Amanda Seyfried's character had a different experience and often crossed into harassment. In the film, Amanda's character claims that she can predict the weather through her boobies. In real life, the actor experienced men coming up to her, either reenacting the scene or even asking her to predict the weather. She said, "I always felt really grossed out by that," she admitted. "I was like 18 years old. It was just gross." Though she didn't feel that she was at the level of fame as, like, Lindsay Lohan, she did sympathize with them in terms of the unwanted attention they received following the release of the film. Quote, "I think being really famous young just really effing sucks," she continued. "It makes you feel completely unsafe in this world."
I knew I wanted to be an actor, but it was my first movie. The mics and the cameras, I was just experiencing it like I was on Mars. I was so clueless. I think the reason I got Karen was I played that person in high school in order to stay out of the drama. It was a much easier transition into playing Karen from where I was at in my life at that point. I was only 17, so high school was like right there.
Now, when it comes to Hollywood, there's this term titled typecast, which I actually wasn't familiar with. I'm a YouTuber, I'm not an actor, but it's when an actor is repeatedly cast in the same type of role based on their appearance or how they've acted in the past. For example, like Jim Carrey's one, Jennifer Aniston is another one. We've got Adam Sandler. They all kind of play the same role. And that's exactly how Lizzie Kaplan felt after Mean Girls. After endearing herself into millions as the laugh out loud goth Janice Ian, main character, Lizzie Kaplan found herself in a tough spot in terms of furthering her career. It's teen-centered dramas, despite wanting to find more independent and intriguing projects to work on. She even dyed her hair and got a spray tan in order to stay relevant and in casting calls, while she eventually found more success in a series, Masters of Sex. Lizzie feels that the shift in casting norms would have changed her post-Mean Girls world. Quote, "I think now that character would not be so pushed aside for future roles," she shared. "It'd be more opportunities." So she said, like, back then the weird goth girl wasn't too common, and nowadays, like, people love the Audrey, like, Plaza kind of characters. Lizzie also sees the difference in role genres nowadays, saying that those archetypes back in the day felt a lot stronger back then, and I feel like there's a shift now. And there is quite a shift, and honestly, in this video, we're gonna be jumping all around. I do want to talk about how Lindsay Lohan could have set herself for even more failure if she decided to play the role she wanted to play, because she initially wanted to be the villain. She wanted to be the bad girl, which is kind of how she was played out in the media a few years after. Like, Lindsay, what are you thinking? She wanted to play Regina George, which honestly, I feel like she would have been a really great Regina George. But the film's director, Mark Waters, did not like this idea. At the time, Lindsay didn't even really love the idea of this role because she didn't want to be a child actress, a teen actress any longer. But Mark claims he knew deep down that the star was better suited for this character, and young audiences would look up to Lindsay. It took some convincing from both the director and the studio. I mean, Lindsay
Story behind me playing Katie in Mean Girls is actually really unknown by a lot of people. I wanted to play Regina because I'd just come off of Freaky Friday, and I really wanted to play like a pretty normal girl now, and I wanted to have a different kind of role than just the damaged teenager again. And Mark Waters, the director, was insistent that I played Katie, and so was Tina. They're like, no, you're the lovable one, you have to play Katie. So I was so eager to get into the transitional part of, okay, let's get to the pretty part of Katie.
Now, honestly, I didn't think the actors or actresses had a choice when it came to picking their roles, but when it comes to Jonathan Bennett, it looks like he wasn't their first choice for Aaron Samuels. Now, Jonathan made a name for himself playing Aaron Samuels in Mean Girls. However, he wasn't the initial choice for the role. According to Daniel Francis, who played the pop-singing Damien, there was another more famous actor who was originally cast as Aaron, but after a disastrous first table read, that unnamed actor was fired. Quote, "This other actor hadn't shaved, he hadn't taken his hat off, and he was playing it really cool. People
Open the door for that, and I know as a kid growing up in Ohio,
oh, now I'm getting emotional. Oh, he was so happy that that tool, was such an asshole during his read because now he got this role.
I would have liked Tina to write this a lot earlier. You have to acknowledge what's wrong before you can fix it. And I think Mean Girls did a great job of that.
Now, when it comes to Rachel McAdams, she actually wanted to have Lindsay's role to play Katie Heron, but it turns out Mark, the director, said she was too old, and he was pretty blunt to her about it. She tested as the villain for Regina George, across from Lindsay Lohan, and she did great, so she was hired for that role. Mark said when Lindsay was acting with Rachel, she got very shy because Rachel was older and very accomplished. Lindsay kind of got nervous around her, and I thought of that more than anything. That was going to be the deciding factor. Despite them being frenemies on camera, it looks like Rachel's never been close to any of her castmates before. They have really no relationship.
I was in an early screening of the show, and the theater was packed, and everything's going well, and then we get to the end, and I get hit by the bus. And everyone was so well behaved up until that point, and everyone just jumped up. Like, people were jumping up out of their seats, screaming and cheering. These meaty guys in the front, giving each other high fives, like Arsenio. I mean,
yeah.
And I was like,
yeah. So what do you do?
Sitting
You just
down in my seat, thinking, "Oh my God,
Yeah.
I'll just take it as a compliment."
Yeah, well, it is a compliment
Really
because
good
it's not
compliment.
you. You're just playing that character, but it's almost like
Right.
playing the Wicked Witch
I
of
was
the
just
West.
so excited that I was dead.
Yeah. That's got to be a creepy feeling to see that happen.
Yeah. It was a little creepy.
Now, Tina Fey is the mastermind behind Mean Girls.
Musical line that left Lindsay Lohan feeling very hurt has been pulled from the movie. So the Mean Girls movie musical is now available to watch at home. And some eagle-eyed fans have noticed that it's slightly different from the version that played in theaters. Specifically, one of Megan Thee Stallion's lines has been altered after Lindsay Lohan's alleged reaction to it. For context, Lindsay Lohan has a cameo in the new movie. She got paid a reported $500,000 for it. Still, this didn't stop her feelings from leaking to the press about one of the jokes in the movie. Back in January, People magazine and The Messenger reported that Lindsay Lohan was feeling very hurt, disappointed, taken aback, and surprised because in the movie, Megan Thee Stallion speaks the line, "Y2K Firecrotch is back." Why would that bother Lindsay Lohan? Well, it might be a reference to a 2006 paparazzi video in which actor Brandon Davis called Lindsay Lohan a firecrotch. Someone working on the movie must have gotten the note because the line is now vanished from the film.
So there's some Mean Girls coverage for you guys. I would love to do some more videos about Lindsay Lohan. She fascinates me, even though I've gotten cease and desist letters before. It wasn't from her, it was from her old manager. So no hard feelings out there, Lindsay. I'm sure she's doing amazing. I just want to know more. I mean, we've talked about her in Blind Item Breakdown, which again, up in the hat, but yeah, we'll have to see. But I want to hear what you guys think of this in the comments below. What do you guys think of the Mean Girls movie? Are you guys still like huge fans of it? I really feel like the remake did not do it for me, but I also didn't see it. So like, what the heck, Sloan? I can't judge something if I didn't even see it. So I want to hear what you guys think of this video in the comments below. My email is open, so send me an email and let me know what you want me to talk about next. Or if you got a tip on something or any story you want me to break, I am here for you guys. I love you so much, and I'll see you in a new one soon. Bye, guys.